Namaste, and it's 9 a.m. in India, and we definitely, all of us, the ones who have joined in and the ones who would be joining in, have become a part of history. And why is that? Simply because this is India's first cannabis education session, which is happening along with world-renowned experts. And I'm so glad to, I would say, be a part of it and help see through that my brothers and sisters in the country can also expand their knowledge in the right manner. And I am glad for this opportunity, and I hope the rest of them are just joining in. Also, just a heads up, I'm wearing a ganja sari. This is made in Nepal. And I'm glad because, yes, KannaAcademy is run by my Nepalese brothers and sisters. And this is such a proud moment because during my TEDx as well, I was wearing this and again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyazi. So it's 8:31 PST. We are 1 minute past. So as Nepali and Indian culture, so let's wait for 5 more minutes because people always join 5 minutes later the presentation. So
True.
let's get it started officially at 8:35 PST. That is 4 minutes from now. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Subrat Sitola. Thank you for allowing me to join the conversation. May I confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Sure, thank you. My name is Subrat Sitola. I'm Nepalese by origin, and I'm based in Melbourne, Australia at the moment. I'm a clinical research associate by profession. I have a educational background in biotechnology and surgery in regenerative medicine. So I'm more of a stem cell guy. I'll be more than happy to put any input that would help this event. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you so much. We would love to connect with you. Do connect with KannaAcademy or Empathy, after this session as well. There's so much happening in India, Nepal, and US at the moment, to a point wherein we are making first, offline center education, along with the help of KannaAcademy and similar people with similar mindsets. So yes, thank you, and we would love to connect with you.
Thank you for your kind words. I'd love to connect. Thank you.
So just a quick notice. So if you want to see or share the Facebook live, so go to the page, KannaAcademy. So if you type KANNAACADEMY, KannaAcademy on Facebook, you'll see our official page, and it's it's being shared live, or it's live on our official Facebook page. You can share that live video from there on your page.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
म चन्द्र निरौला बोल्दैछु काठमाडौँबाट. मलाई खुसी लाग्छ यहाँ तपाईहरुसँग जोडिन पाउँदा र मैले सानो शेयर गर्न खोजिरहेको छु.
Niranjan, let's start.
Yes. Okay. All right, it's time now. Anmol, could you make a well, Prabodji and Maheshji co-host for now? Time is scheduled. Just let me know when my time is. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Let's get it started.
Yeah, I'll keep admitting people as we go along. We should start.
Okay. All right. Namaste. Hello, everyone, and good morning and good evening, depending on which part of the globe you are. I know we are from eastern part of the globe and as well as western part of the globe. And on behalf of KannaAcademy, I would like to welcome you all. So, Anmol, could you mute all? I think there is some background noise. Okay, all right. So thank you and welcome again to this online event. So we are just a second. Hi, Anmal.
Niranjanji, let's wait another 5 minutes. Lot of people are entering now.
Let's wait another 5 minutes.
Continue entering, sir. I mean, it's almost 9:10 in India. We are 10 minutes, I think, so into it. And trust me, they would continue entering till the end of the session. And I promise you that the way we have marketed, knowing, and the people know, they have been waiting for something like this. So let's start.
Okay. Okay. All right. So with everyone's permission, so I like to go and get slowly started, at least. So welcome all to this online session. And just a request to Anmol. So when we do this speaker view, I think the main screen should cover the person who is speaking, right? But I can see Ziban here on the screen, is if that is something everyone sees. How do we fix that, Anmol?
I think it's fixed now.
Okay, okay. Now I can see KannaAcademy. I should be seeing, because I'm speaking now, so it should show me, right? Now? Whoever speak.
Hello, we don't listen.
Yes, hi. Okay, now we can see Priyaji as on the main screen. Everyone sees, but she's not speaking. So I was trying to fix this.
Hello.
Yes, hi. Okay, now we can see Priyaji as on the main screen. There is echo sound. Please mute everyone. I mean, we have a lot of participants, so I think we first need to fix this technical issue anyway.
I think we all can view, over here. And I think if you're going to connect, select whoever you want to view, it's going to come on the screen. Having said that, you can just select the share button and then share the slide that we're doing.
All right, I think I can, click on myself. Oh, okay, now this is what I wanted. Well, when I speak, right? So when you speak, I want you on the main screen.
Having said that, you can just select the share button and then share the slide.
Please mute all. Please mute all.
Okay. All right. Now let's get started. Welcome all. Namaste. Good evening and good morning, depending on what part of the globe you are. And on behalf of KannaAcademy, I would like to welcome everyone to this online or the virtual event. So I will be sharing a few PowerPoint slides with you all about the KannaAcademy that will explain a little bit about the KannaAcademy. So all of us will have an idea what KannaAcademy and what is our goal and how is our Cannabis-101 course as well as advanced courses would look like in future. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Anmol, I think you have to let me share the screen.
Now you can see it.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me try to. All right. So it's showing. So do I have to admit them, or now you can admit them as well? You can, right?
Yeah, I'm admitting everybody who's waiting.
Yeah. So who now on Anmol, can you admit them, or I have to admit them? Because it looks like you changed me to.
We can
okay.
admit them.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I'll be sharing a few PowerPoint slides with you all. So that will explain what KannaAcademy is, what is our goal, who we are, and how does our Cannabis 101 course and advanced cannabis course looks like. So today's program, so we have several guests from the cannabis industry. We are very happy to have them in our virtual event today. That is announcement of Cannabis 101 course for Nepal and India. For Nepal, it is the second session, while for India, this is the first session. And so we just completed the first session for Nepal, and it was a very huge success. We had many brilliant students who successfully completed the course and received the certification from KannaAcademy. And so this is now the second session for Nepal and first session for India. We are very excited and we are very happy to learn that people in India as well as people in India are very excited for the first session, while people in Nepal are very much excited for the second session. So today is talking about today's event and our distinguished speakers, and I would like to take their name with the respect. Dr. Barry Bielak, he has established multidimensional cannabis research center in Kathmandu University. And Priya Mishra, she is a cannabis enthusiast and a cannabis leader and cannabis advocate in India. And Bhim Upadhyayji, he is an engineer and ex-secretary of government of Nepal. He is pretty loud in legalizing in legalization of cannabis in Nepal. We all love him very much. And Hemant Bid, he is professor of cannabis, medicinal cannabis at Cleveland School of Cannabis. And Ajante Di Carlo, she is chief sustainability scientist at Aromatic Plant Research Center in Utah. And similarly, we have Maha Haq. She is a very good cannabis scientist as well as a cannabis advocate and cannabis a cannabis leader based in United States. She recently completed her graduate degree in cannabis science from the University of Maryland. Congratulations, Maha. And similarly, we have Mahesh Purasaini. Mahesh Purasaini is also the founding member or the founding partner or the executive partner of the KannaAcademy. Similarly, Prabhat Satel is executive partner of the KannaAcademy, and Kaviti Milsina, executive partner of the KannaAcademy, and Anmol Sapkota, information and technology head of KannaAcademy. So we all, all the speakers will introduce themselves a little bit more when they speak. So to know more about them, we have to wait them to speak. And introducing our core team. So me, Niranjan Aryal, I am the CEO and founding partner of the KannaAcademy. Similarly, Prabhat Satyal, Mahesh Pudasaini, Kavit Himalsina. We four co-founded the the KannaAcademy. So we all are founding partners. And introducing our instructors. So we four founding partners of the KannaAcademy, plus Priya Mishra-ji and Hemant Bid-ji will be instructing the Cannabis-101 course. And apart from us, we have several guest lecturers or the guest instructors. And again, our instructors will introduce themselves a little bit more when they speak. So what is our goal? So what is the goal of KannaAcademy? So we all know that, and we all can pretty clearly see that the whole world or the complete globe is going to go green soon with the legalization of cannabis. And soon means a decade or 10 to 15 years. And by that time, the world will require a very swift knowledge and advanced knowledge, advanced experience in the cannabis, in different aspects of cannabis. And KannaAcademy is doing its part. So we are working on and doing a small part on spreading education and awareness of different aspects of cannabis to the whole world. So what are the areas that KannaAcademy covers? KannaAcademy covers cannabis science, cannabis industry, cannabis cultivation, cannabis and society, cannabis as medicine, traditional knowledge about the cannabis, ancient knowledge about the cannabis, and micro and macro and large cannabis businesses. And we cover the complete or all the small and large detail of all the aspects of the cannabis. And who are our friends or who can take our cannabis courses? So basically everyone who is a stakeholder of the cannabis industry or the cannabis science. So who is a stakeholder of the cannabis industry or cannabis science? Everyone, be it farmers, growers, or hobbyists, or phytochemicals testing laboratories, or pharmaceutical companies, or university research dispensaries, or whoever it is, even government people, they are pretty much and very much welcome and to take the classes that KannaAcademy offer and to share the knowledge with KannaAcademy. And we are very happy to share the knowledge and the experiences that we have got in this cannabis field with everyone. So everyone from every corner of the society, whoever be it, so by law, it's better, whoever it is who is more than 21 years old, either 22 years old or 50 years old or 70 years old, whoever it is. So everyone is welcome to take and to take the classes we offer and be our friends. So as an example, what are we going to teach in the courses that KannaAcademy offers? So as an example, we have a course or we have a class on legalization and policy making. So legalization means regulation, right? Legalization doesn't mean that everyone is allowed to, smoke the pot in bus park or railway station or anywhere. So it means federal, federal laws, public awareness, and state laws and other aspects such as quality control and aspects related to the testing labs facilities. We also have to address the criminal activity and abuse of cannabis and cannabis products, especially in the countries like India and Nepal. So for Cannabis 101 course, so we will be very basically going through these different aspects. But if someone is interested in taking the advanced course and someone wants to be the policymaker of cannabis and cannabis related businesses, they can take the advanced course that we offer. That in that advanced course, each and every aspect of legalization and policy making will be discussed in very detailed. Similarly, on a cannabis botany class, this is just an example, so we'll be talking about different specification of cannabis. So right now, I mean, we all know that cannabis was criminalized and treated as a criminal plant for a long time. So we are lagging behind in research and development and findings and all those kind of things in cannabis plants compared to other plants. So there is a very less research being done, and there are still, still this is 2021, and the cannabis plant is found everywhere in the world, every corner of the world. But I mean, there is no proper specification of the cannabis plant. The most accepted specification says that sativa, indica, and ruderalis are 3 species, but still, I mean, people claim that there are more than those species, and the cannabis in the corners of India and Himalayas, and the corners of Nepal and the corners of Tibet. So those land races haven't been explored yet. So when we are able to explore all the land races around the world, I mean, the number of species could increase from 3 to 10 or 15, or who knows, or after doing the very comprehensive research and analysis, it could even decrease to a mono specification or di specification. But there really requires proper research and in-depth study. And KannaAcademy offers you in the advanced courses the in-depth study and update on what's been going on around the world on cannabis science. And this is another example what KannaAcademy offers in its class or courses. So the difference between marijuana and hemp, in Nepal and in India. So we call the cannabis plant ganja, right? And so everything is ganja. Everything looks like ganja. Everything is ganja. So that's what we call. And every plant, THC plant and CBD plants is treated the same way. But I mean, the KannaAcademy, after taking the class from KannaAcademy, the students will be able to, I mean, very properly distinguish what different phytochemicals are, THC, CBD, and how they make different to the cannabis plants and how they make different to the business, right? I mean, recreational business, what you call recreational business, what you call medicinal business, or the, I mean, so how does a percentage of THC matters in that? So, and this is another example of a advanced course. I mean, if somebody wants to take an advanced course, we go as deep as the updating our students on the genomic and transcriptomic studies and all those things. So this slide shows that, I mean, when we look at the cannabis plant and the other plants, the transcriptomic expression of both the plants looks similar. So what makes the plant much different from other plants? So that is secondary metabolites produced in the cannabis plants, especially the cannabinoids, right? So we go as deep as that, and we go in our advanced courses. So we go as deep as the student wants. Again, this is an example of a biosynthetic pathway. And we go, I mean, it just shows the CO2 plus S2, the primary carbon metabolism, and then secondary metabolic pathway produces different secondary metabolites in a cannabis plant. But so in our class, in our advanced classes, so we go very much deep into each step, you know, and so this is an example of where the cannabis industry is heading in the next 5 to 10 years. So this paper was published in Nature in February of 2019, and it shows that now those cannabinoids, THC, CBD, and those cannabinoids can now be produced in the yeast, you know. So you don't need the cannabis plant to produce those cannabinoids. So what they did was they just took the genes from the plant and then expressed those genes in the yeast, and they were able to so that the yeast produced those cannabinoids. So in our class, in our advanced courses, we'll be teaching this. So this will help students, you know, to plan on different, on what aspects they are interested on whatever aspects they are interested on. I mean, people, we can hear people talking a lot about the GMO, making cannabis plants GMO, and then diverting CBD pathway or the biosynthesis of CBD pathway to THC and making a medicinal cannabis plant a recreational one, and vice versa, you know, depending on the demand, and producing CBG, THCV, and other cannabinoids that are very minutely produced in the plant, you know. So all those approaches will be taught in the classes in our advanced course, and in Cannabis-101 course, we will just go basically through these kind of things and tell students, so these things are happening and you have to be ready, make yourself ready. I mean, if you are interested in this aspect of the cannabis industry. And the testing is the other aspect. So we offer a course on testing, and we all know that testing is the bottleneck of the cannabis industry, right? So if there was no testing, the consumer wouldn't know what he is smoking or what he is inhaling or what he is taking in, right? So testing laboratories create the labels for the cannabis products, and which the consumer trusts, and then choose whatever product they want. You know? And testing lab requirements. So when we go to the testing class, advanced testing classes, so we will teach what testing are required by the law and states and countries. This is just please, could you please mute everyone?
So go ahead and mute. I'm trying to mute everybody.
All right. Okay. So this is an example. So what, I mean, going to the advanced course of the testing. So this is an example of California Bureau of Cannabis Control regulation or the law. So what it requires is a licensed laboratory shall maintain ISO 17025 accreditation for the testing of the cannabinoids, heavy metals, microbial impurities, mycotoxins, and so on. So in our testing class, we will teach students, or we will discuss with students how to set up the laboratory, and even how to get the instruments validated, and how to get the ISO 17025 accreditation, and to be able to set up and operate the testing laboratory. And talking about the advanced course on medicinal cannabis. So medicinal cannabis course will deal with different medicinal values of cannabinoids and other cannabis products. And in the Cannabis 101 course, we will again go surfacely on medicinal values of different secondary metabolites from cannabis. While on our advanced course, I mean, each topic like how cannabis products help in improving heart health and all those kind of things, this will be taught in detail. All right, so every small fact and every single detail on cannabis will be taught on on the courses offered by KannaAcademy. So this is just an example of the Cannabis 101 course that we are announcing today. I mean, it will be from July. So today is the 11th of June, right? And we will give 1 month for students from India and students from Nepal to register themselves to the Cannabis 101 course. And what we offer is on this Cannabis 101 course is different topics or the different classes, such as week 1, cannabis and human civilization.
Lorenzo, you're muted.
All right, thank you, Kavizi. And such a way, week 6, modern cannabis industry, week 7, testing. So in Cannabis 101 course, we will be discussing, or we will be teaching our students, I mean, different aspects of cannabis or the modern cannabis industry very briefly, So after taking this Cannabis 101 course, the student will be able to find out what is the area that he is really interested in the cannabis, in the cannabis industry, because a person is not allowed to, do the cultivation and make the product, do the cultivation and have a testing lab, because that makes him partial, right? So for impartiality, the testing should be done in the third party laboratory. So, whatever there, and it's very difficult to handle all from cultivation, testing, education, and everything by a person. So everyone who is interested in cannabis industry should find a specific area that they are interested in, and they have to start investing their knowledge, money, whatever, on that specific area. And that's the way that everyone becomes successful. And so this course will really help students to find out what their interest is, and they will be knowing how all those aspects look like in the cannabis industry, and they can choose one or more or two or several, depending on what they like. And talking about the cannabis advanced courses, so we will be offering them in near future. Cannabis botany and plant science, very in-depth, cannabis agronomy, medicinal cannabis, and growing cannabis, and then cannabis dispensaries, cannabis legislation, quality assurance. And if somebody wants to go much further, than the more further than the cannabis advanced course, that is getting the consultant service from us. They can contact us, and then we'll find a way to how to do that. Let's say, for example, somebody wants to establish a testing lab, and then they can come to us and say, hey, we want to establish a testing lab. What's the way? How can you help? And then we'll find a way to help each other. All right, so cannabis. Let's talk about cannabis. Now it's, it helps in tourism, agriculture, health, increase in export. Let's learn together. Let's share our knowledge. And again, KannaAcademy would like to request you all learn and grow with us, grow with KannaAcademy. Thank you. So that was my presentation on KannaAcademy. So we will not be taking any questions right now. Your screen stops here. Okay. All right, so we'll not be taking any question right now. So we will be going to the other speakers because otherwise we'll be losing our time. Because please keep your questions for the when floor is open by the end of the meeting. I mean that is we'll open the floor for everyone. So our speakers will speak and say their things. So with that, because Maha Haq, she is in Eastern time, and it's like 8 minutes past 12 p.m. midnight for her. And thank you, Maha, for being with us. So Maha, please, are you there?
All right, you guys. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Maha, is it you?
Yes, yes. So
Okay,
namaste,
why don't
assalamu
you?
alaikum, sat sri akal. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning or this night. It is midnight over here. I am getting ready for bed. But this is a very exciting opportunity to see all of you guys be interested in cannabis education. Out here in the United States, I work out here. I have been an international cannabis business consultant. Been working in the legal cannabis space
Maha,
for
just interrupting you.
no worries.
Could you click on your name at the top so that we can see you on the main screen? Because you are speaking, but I think people are seeing me
Oh,
on the main screen.
can you guys see me?
Now, if you double click on your picture at the top, right? So,
Yep.
Prabhat sir, Master, you see me or Mahaji?
No, I
Okay.
saw her.
Okay, all right.
All right. Everyone can see me. Great.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
now yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I've been working in the legal cannabis space out here since 2012, and been focusing more on the education and academia side over here. So a little bit of summary of my experience in the education side is I went to UCLA for my undergraduate education. I majored in mathematics and sociology and started a nonprofit cannabis student organization called Canna Club. So we started at UCLA. Now we're at 25 other universities in America. We have one in the UK that will be starting soon as well. But starting from the university level as students and advocating for cannabis education helps the school administration consider cannabis classes on the university level. So there's a lot of advocacy involved. And, I want to thank Priyaji and Dr. Aryal for setting this up and for being advocates in this space, because it's really advocacy that gets education somewhere. So we have to speak up and let everyone know that we're interested in this sort of education. So all of you guys being here is very, very much contributing factor into that. So real quick, when it comes to cannabis education, it's interdisciplinary, meaning that there are many subjects and topics within cannabis. So there are science elements. Dr. Aryal went over a couple of botanical components and chemistry, cannabinoid chemistry. So there is a lot of sciences in it, but there's also a legal aspect to it, regulatory affairs, laws that are surrounding it, whether it's on the local level or the nation level. And then there's public health, there's public policy. So there are a lot of opportunities within cannabis. So it truly depends what sort of education interests you. So just like on KannaAcademy, there's a couple different options, different tracks, one focused on agriculture, one focused on botany. So that's kind of the beauty of cannabis. There are so many topics within this one plant. All of us are sort of striving for more education, so it could help in legalizing it, setting up proper processes and structures for it, and eventually, opening up a business, just like Dr. Ariel was saying, having your own testing lab of sorts, or any other sort of facilities or businesses that are meant to be in the cannabis space. So, you know, ultimately, it's up to you how much you want to learn about it. But you know, during my time, I've you know, grown Canna Club to a nationwide nonprofit with about 5,500 members, student members, and we have an additional 400 alumni members in it. So this is already a large enough community. You know, we can spread this throughout India and Nepal, all of South Asia. You know, it's a matter of time. You know, India and Nepal are at the forefront of this. So, you know, maybe surrounding countries nearby can follow example as each spot. A great question in the chat. When does Canna Club come to India? So if there's any university students here, you know, as a paying student, as a student who pays their tuition, you have the right to organize. You have the privilege to start a cannabis student organization. Whether it's informal or not, it's the sense of community, just like how Priyaji started Hembati. Like she's created a whole community around cannabis. So if you're a university student, connect with me. I'd be happy to help you create that to create that student group. All you need is just people who will follow you know, your passion and help you out with it. But otherwise, you know, with KannaAcademy, there's already a community being set in that as well. But all in all, you know, just like Dr. Ariel said, research is what is also going to forward the cannabis industry in Nepal and India. There's a necessity of research to advance any sort of legislature process or even formal education process. So of course, like with research, we need to advocate for that more. And as a former researcher, I used to be a research assistant at the UCLA Cannabis Research Initiative. I did a couple of private projects through different companies. So the best way you guys can start off is, you know, getting educated and then doing a case study. And that's, you know, basically what Priyaji is doing. She's doing epidemiological research. She's going into these different villages in India and seeing how the village people treat cannabis. That's one way to do it. Or you can do a case study between your own group of friends and see, you know, how does cannabis affect them if any of them are medical cannabis patients. You can see how I'll do an informal observational study. So hopefully with whatever courses that comes out through KannaAcademy, that can help you gear towards doing whatever projects you'd like to pursue, whatever sort of studies you'd like to test out and titrate by yourselves. So, you know, it's, we got another comment here. It says it is illegal, or is it legal to operate such a club in a university of a country where cannabis is illegal? You got to check with your school. And that's the unfortunate case. If it's not allowed, you can't do it. But this is already a good community to start off with, so it can be informal until it can be formal. So I know I kind of hopped here and there. It is very late over here, so I'm gonna go to bed soon. But as far as, you know, education, go for it, do it. That's what's going to broaden your horizon and opportunities within cannabis. It's an interdisciplinary subject, so you can study it if you're a lawyer, a doctor, a prospective doctor, a scientist, researcher, whatever. There is infinite possibilities of study in cannabis. So whatever interests you, it's possible to happen. And there's a lot of resources out there. I'm going to put some Instagram links in the chat that has free sessions sometimes. Typically that's in the Western time zones, but there are free classes that can help you out. And then of course, Dr. Ariel has some classes he's setting up as well that he'll share information on too. But you know, just keep building the community. That's what gets things done. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Dr. Ariel. I'm very thrilled to see almost 200 people in India and Nepal interested in being educated on cannabis. So thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, Maha, for staying late night to interact with our community in India and Nepal. And just want to add that another 200 people watching live on Facebook. So 200 people interacting on Zoom and another 200 to 400 people live watching live on Facebook. So, I mean, a large community, we are building a large community and family is increasing. Okay, all right. So now we'll go ahead with our other speakers. So I would like to have Dr. Mahesh Pudasani to introduce himself. Uh, uh, he is our executive founder, and we co-founded the KannaAcademy together. Yes, Mahesh sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Niranjan. I would like to share my screen.
Try and ask Anmol if it doesn't work. Anmol?
He can see her.
Yeah, okay. Are you guys seeing my slide? Hello?
Yes, we are seeing your screen, not the slide. We can see your, yes.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yes, my sir, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So we are now have a big community, 200 in this session and over 200 in Facebook. So this is a wonderful moment. I would like to give you my short introduction. My name is Mahesh Pudasani, and I'm a professional agrologist from British Columbia, Canada. And I would like to give you some of my educational background. And I have a master's degree in botany with major plant pathology from Tribhuvan University, Nepal in 1997. And I did another master's in 1999 in crop protection with major in nematology from Ghent University, Belgium, West Europe. And from the same country in 2006, I did a third master's degree in molecular biology and biotechnology from Free University. And I did a PhD in applied biological and agricultural sciences from Ghent University, Belgium, in collaboration with Wageningen University and Research, Wageningen, the Netherlands, in 2006. And beside that, I also have some post-academic courses such as advanced biostatistics done in 2003 and 2004. About my experiences, currently I'm working as a director in Solution Agrology Services Limited here in British Columbia, Canada since 2017. And I provide consultation on agrology, crop health, and cannabis seed to harvest technology. And also working as a planning and R&D director at AgriForest Biotech Company also in British Columbia since 2016, where I'm involved in vertical farming, hydroponics, tissue culture, crop health, and industrial scale crop production. And I work between 2019 to 2020 in a Flower Corporation. This is a big multinational cannabis industry. As a cannabis R&D and IPM lead, where I was doing research in cultivation technology, cannabis cultivation technology, and IPM program development. And then before coming to Canada, I was a agricultural research and extension scientist in University of Idaho in USA between 2010 to 2015. There I was providing research and extension services to the Idaho grower on crop health. And in Nepal, between 2008 to 2010, I was working as an agricultural specialist in CIPRED. This is a NGO in Lalitpur, where I was developing proposal and program implementation for livelihood improvement for the poor farmer in Nepal, and also searching fund. And from 2002 to 2010, I was working as a scientist, as a plant pathologist in Nepal Agriculture Research Council in 3 different stations in Pakriwas, Bhairawa, and the central head office, Krishi Bhavan in Kathmandu. And there I was doing just plant pathology and technology transfer research, right? So these are my education and experiences. So today we all knew about what is cannabis, or cannabis can be seen from different perspectives. So everybody knows what is cannabis. It's a simple plant, but it became it's a very outstanding crop that goes through a lot of regulation, compliance, and law enforcement. And the cultivation or processing of cannabis all need accreditation on good agriculture practice, good manufacturing practice, good laboratory practice, etc., etc. Yeah, we all call this is a simple wheat, but has acquired sophisticated and elite lifestyle to compete the market because there are so many developed cultivar strain in the market right now, and coming emerging one after another superior. And you always will say that this is a marginal crop. Yes, it's a wheat. It can grow in any marginal land. But if you want to compete to the market, want to have a to comply with all the accreditation, then it's not anymore a marginal crop. It's require agri-tech inputs, things like that. So our friends already talk about a lot about cannabis. So I would like to stop right here. So thank you for listening. I would like to see you all guys in our Cannabis 101 course in virtual classes. So till then, I would like to say thank you. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you,
No,
Masdi.
no. I have one
Could
more.
you-
I thought it's done. Yeah, sorry. So here in cannabis, what I'm going to do, Dr. Ariel told you that we are an executive partner as well as an instructor. So in this Cannabis 101 basic course, I'm going to give you instruction on cannabis science and botany and cannabis cultivation technology. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for listening. See you guys in our virtual classroom.
Yeah,
that's all.
Masdi, thank you Masdi, thank you so much. Could you please, okay, stop sharing or do something to, okay. All right. Thank you, Masdi. And now, so we have one of our instructor, Hemant Bid, on Eastern time again. So it's 9:25, 10, 25, 11, 12. It's already 11:25, 12:25 for him. I mean, 25 minutes past midnight. So if he is here and wants to speak, so he's welcome. Hemantji, are you here? Or he slept, looks like. It's too late. Hemantji? Okay, looks like he slept or he is making his coffee to stay awake. So we will have him after he comes back. Now I'd like to go with Prabhat Satyal, Dr. Prabhat Satyal. He is from Utah and he owns a cannabis testing lab there. So Dr. Prabhat Satyal, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I had a presentation, but it would take longer. That's why I'm not going to present today. I'm Prabodh Satyal. I'm originally from Nepal, and I came US to pursue my PhD degree. And since then, I'm working on essential oil, especially terpene. And I have been working on essential oil from 11, 12 years. And I started working on cannabis since 3 years. I own a lab in Utah, which has a state license. We do medical marijuana, we do hemp, everything in our lab. So in coming days, I'm going to teach instrumental technique and chemistry behind cannabis. And thank you everyone for joining this session, and hoping to see you in class. Thank you, Dr. Ariel.
Thank you, Prabodji, Dr. Prabodh Satel. And now I would like to go with Kavi Timilsina. So his field of interest, or his field in the cannabis, is extraction and product development. So Kaviji, are you there?
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaviti Malsina. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry, and then I have a master's degree in biotechnology. Currently, I'm working as an analyst in one of the hemp companies. I'm a Lean Six Sigma certified professional who works in developing procedure in the company. And then I always profess the idea of bringing cannabis from farm to industry. It includes a lot of other aspects like testing and then regulatory implications. I'll be focusing on industry-based application of cannabis. Hope to see you in the class very soon. I will not take too much of your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaviji. Now I would like to go to our instructor. So Hemantji, are you there? No. Okay. Looks like, okay, he will wake up and come back. All right. So Priyaji, are you there?
Yeah. So namaste.
Okay. Now it's your turn. We all know that you can talk about cannabis for 2 hours, but people are already slept in some parts of United States.
I understand, and I am glad and I'm grateful to each one of you on the Eastern time to actually, I understand that first of all, in the Western community, everyone sleeps very early. So जिनको नहीं पता है, भारत में आजकल हम बहुत लेट सोते हैं, लेकिन विदेश में लोग बहुत जल्दी सोते हैं. तो इसके लिए जितने भी इंटरनेशनल स्पीकर्स हैं उनको पहले चांस देना चाहिए. एंड आई एम वेटिंग कि अगर हेमंत सर भी आ पाए, क्योंकि उनके पास भी बहुत सारी नॉलेज है और वो भारत से हैं और वो ये समझते हैं. Okay, I understand that a lot of you want me to talk in English, but I have got WhatsApp messages requesting people who don't understand English so well. That is the Indian, I'll try to talk in English at the moment, because चाहे वो भारत हो, चाहे वो नेपाल हो, English is particular to only very few people. बहुत एक क्रीम लेयर है. ये देखिए यहाँ पे उन लोगों ने मुझे व्हाट्सएप किए हैं, मैसेजेस किए हैं कि हमें थोड़ी चीजें समझ में नहीं आ रही हैं, तो कृपया कर अगर हम हिंदी में बात कर सकें. और इसी कारणवश मैंने कोहिनूर ऑफ हर्ब्स बुकलेट जो एक 40 पेजर है, जो एजुकेशन पर्पसेस के लिए लिखी थी, लेमैन लैंग्वेज के लिए. तो मैं किस चीज की इंस्ट्रक्टर हूँ? मैं मासिस की इंस्ट्रक्टर हूँ, मैं लेमैन की इंस्ट्रक्टर हूँ, जो इतने बड़े ज्ञान कीपर्स हैं यहाँ पे इस टाइम पे, उसको एक लेमैन तक किन शब्दों में उसको समझ में आएगा, मैं आपको ये सिखाऊंगी. ये जो प्रेजेंटेशंस हैं, ये प्रेजेंटेशंस आपको उतनी ही इंपॉर्टेंट हैं जितना आपको ये कम्युनिकेशन स्किल है. जितने लोग मुझे जानते हैं यहाँ पे, दे नो दैट मुझे ट्यूबरकुलोसिस नाम की एक बीमारी हुई थी. आई हैड समथिंग कॉल्ड ट्यूबरकुलोसिस व्हेन आई वाज 20 years old, and ganja, bhang, vijaya, whatever you want to call it, in its rawest form, in the gaseous form, उसने मेरा इलाज किया था. जब मैं गैशियस फॉर्म बोलती हूँ तो इसका ये मतलब है कि धुएं से मेरा इलाज हुआ था, जैसे लोगों को एनेस्थीसिया दिया जाता है. तब से लेके अभी तक भारत में मेरे पास 9,500 अप्रोक्सीमेटली पेशेंट्स की मैंने मदद की है. आई हैव कनेक्टेड विद 9,500 पेशेंट्स अक्रॉस इंडिया, एंड दे हैव बीन कनेक्टेड विद डॉक्टर्स देश और विदेश के, स्पेशलिस्ट वैद्य से लेके एलोपैथी डॉक्टर तक, ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन्स तक. और मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि आप जितने भी लोग हैं, ये आपने
Can you talk in English?
As I said, I'm going to talk in English over here. This is for India, Nepal, and the globe. I understand many can't understand Hindi, many can't understand English also. So I'm trying to keep it English, so that everyone who's a part of this can understand. यहाँ पे please share with English accent. Sure, I am just going to turn off the messages at the moment because यहाँ पे बहुत सारे farmers बैठे हैं जिनको मदद चाहिए इस टाइम पे, ना ही सिर्फ वो बच्चे जो इंटरनेट में इतने savvy हैं. यहाँ पे कुछ farmers ऐसे भी बैठे हैं जिनके against cases चल रहे हैं और उनको इन experts की उतनी ही मदद है जितनी आपके शौक के लिए आपको मदद है. So I hope you understand why Hindi is equally important, wherein there are about 100 Indian students जो भारतीय हैं, उसमें से 50 जो हैं मेरे farmers हैं. ठीक है. सो अब ये जो इंग्लिश हिंदी का टॉपिक है उसको साइड में रख के एक्चुअल टॉपिक पे आते हैं. मैं आपको कम्युनिकेशंस के साथ साथ जो कि इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी बोथ होगा, आपको इंडिया में क्या क्या लीगलाइज्ड है, क्या नहीं है, क्या प्रोडक्ट्स अवेलेबल हैं, क्या नेटवर्क है, क्या प्रोडक्ट्स क्वालिटी अवेलेबल है, किनकी अच्छी क्वालिटी अवेलेबल नहीं है. So in that scenario, I'll be your teacher, I'll be your mentor for, let's say, on ground. You know, when you will be stepping out in the real world, I'll be assisting you how to introduce cannabis or initiate it among the non-initiated or the people who don't have any understanding of cannabis. And yes, it will be mainly at this particular time education centric. Thank you so much, Maha, for that matter of fact, highlighting education is the key. जो education है या जो शिक्षा है वो सबसे important होती है, वो किसी भी subject की क्यों ना हो, let it be whatever subject as you want. It can be English, it can be Hindi, it can be ganja, it can be computer, right? So over here मेरी पूरी ये मुहिम रहेगी, all my efforts are going to go in one particular direction, and that is going to be, how do you all understand? A true mentor or a leader is not the one who looks at the well-versed students. A true mentor is the one who looks at the one who needs the most help. So I hope all of you will help me in helping the farmers, जिन्हें सबसे ज़्यादा मदद चाहिए. जहाँ पे मैं बैठी हूँ अभी भी वहाँ पे लोग अरेस्ट हो रहे हैं, कल भी पुलिस आई थी, परसों भी पुलिस आई थी. So ये जो reality वाली life है ना, वो एक अलग चीज होती है. So I'm looking for again people, all of you, to help me in that. Not just me, it's a two-way learning. It's always a two-way learning. As an educator on ground, I can teach you how to educate people via skits, via plays, and more. At the same time, probably you can help me making better presentations because I definitely am not good at it. So I hope that you guys understand that this is Cannabis 101 India session where we want Hindi, English. Hopefully, जो next sessions हमारे roll out होंगे next year 2022 में, वो सारी regional भाषा जो हमारी है उसमें materials available होंगे. So thank you so much. I'll be sharing the presentation and other details in the next session. But yeah, this is who I am. This is what I do. And I hope that आप लोग जितनी companies खोलें, उतना ही आप अपने ground level पे farmers की मदद करें. As many companies you open, I hope you guys actually help the people on ground who kept the plant alive when it was illegal, when none of us could do anything. We were too scared to do anything. Thank you so much.
All right, Priyaji, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us, with the cannabis community that is spread in India, Nepal, and throughout the world. And so now I would like to go with, who is there? Hemantji, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, with a very beautiful background. So it took you some time to build that up.
Yeah, it's the college that where I teach actually. So
okay,
so
cool.
hello everyone. Thank you, Niranja, for the great opportunity to talk in this session. But definitely that it's a great pleasure to be here. And myself, Hemant Kumar Beth, and I am a professor at Cleveland School of Cannabis. I've been there for almost more than close to a year now, and it's been a great journey to be there. So my background basically that I am doing from last 20 years the clinical and translation cancer research, including finding out a lot of different cannabinoids and their anti-cancer properties, inflammatory pathways, and looking for their utility in many different pharmacokinetics aspects. So it's been a great journey to see that, how the field of cannabis has been grown and taken a big, jump throughout the whole time. So what I felt that, basically that my background actually helps a lot to, understand the field and helping the people in this field a lot. And my background basically is master's in biochemistry, PhD in medical biochemistry, and then I have a second master's in pharmacology. And I teach a lot of different subjects, and I do like very too much lot of curriculum editing and curriculum development and CME courses in Cleveland School of Cannabis. So the courses what I teach is commercial cultivation operation. I teach endocannabinoid system. I teach CBD comprehensive, patient navigation, etc. And all these courses are specifically focused on the medical benefit of cannabis. And what I feel is that this field expanded a lot, and the education in the field of medical cannabis is really, really an important thing to, share with people. And why it is important? The reason being is because it being used for decades, especially in the Asian continents that, like India, Nepal, and, China, etc. But now what we are seeing here, the development is that this plant has so many important components which are sitting in the flower, which we call phytocannabinoids. And they are so important to cure so many different kind of disease subset that we were not aware of. And now we were actually at that phase that where we are seeing that all these things that, is coming along, that the data we were collecting, the research were happening, and everything coming along very well. Now we have a technology, we have knowledge that we can share with people. So it is important to, understand the people who are even using that, what it is and how we can use it. And before even we understand that, how it is working in our body. So human body is a very complex box, basically. There's a lot of multiple elements are sitting there. And when we talk about these elements, then one of the unique elements come along with, all the elements is endocannabinoid system in our body, which is basically that one of the system play a very important role with this plant. So that we all need to understand that, okay, there are, this system is there, and all the phytocannabinoids are there, and our body itself actually produces endocannabinoids. So these are the things that if we understand, then we will understand that, how amazing that, this plant is, and what are the different compounds are there, and how they are actually curing different kind of disease. If somebody, and then the question be asked that, why there are so many different kind of products are in the market, why we are looking for all these products, because people always talk about that, because I am actually actively working on a legislation process in state of Mississippi. And there was a question there always, they asked that, why there is so many different kind of method of administration, why people have, edibles, why people have vapes, why people have, tinctures, etc. So, and along with that, people also talk about that, why there are different kind of products are there. There are separate products, there are combination, etc. So we have to understand that, our human body is so different. It's amazing. Our genetics are different. Everybody is coming from a different background. So that means our body respond to all those things in a very different ways. So that means more and more products and more different method of administration and more details we know about this plant, these different compounds which are coming from this plant. It will give the clinicians a lot of better tool to cure many different kind of diseases. And more awareness of people have it, then they are going to have more faith on that, this plant has such a important properties. There are a lot of drugs that, like any drug you guys can name it, that, like we talk about, and every drug has their own side effects. We know that. And I never ever say that, or I never claim that, okay, this plant don't have the side effect, because I always say that if anybody drink more than 10 liters of water, they are going to have a side effect because body is going to react, because that is more than sufficient what we are drinking, right? So it's the same thing, that it's a balance, that if you are taking something in a balanced way, it is creating miracles in your body. So we have to understand that, like what is the balance and how much, like, and how we are going to take it so that it can create a nice balance and helpful for many different ways for our body. Now we have to also understand that there are so many different kind of disease. I've been working in the cancer field from last 20 years. And when people talk about that, like, what is in a nutshell that can you tell that, like what you learn about that from last 20 years? I said that, like it's such a complex disease. We always talk about that we know so many things about cancer research. We know about so many cancer drug discovery. But one thing we know is that we have not much learned from this time, because it's a multifactorial and polygenic. That means we know so many factors causing cancer, but exactly what factor is causing, we don't know. There are so many genes which are responsible, but what exactly gene is responsible, we can't tell that, this is exactly the gene which is responsible for that, right? So it's a very complex disease. And then there are so many different therapies are there, like modern therapies. We call them chemotherapy, we call them radiotherapy, we call them, like a lot of drugs are there, right? But they all have their side effect. Either you go through the radiotherapy, either you go through the chemotherapy, and they kill the body. But the chemotherapy is a drug that, like which don't have the ability to differentiate the normal cells and cancer cells. But on the other hand, that, like if we talk about the plant, cannabis plant, it's an amazing plant. We always talk about it because every therapy has so much side effect. And this is such an amazing plant which is coming from a nature that it don't have the side effect. It don't touch any normal cells, that what they are going to do. In spite of harming the normal cells, it's nurture the normal cells. And that people, most of the people, they don't know that this plant have a neuroprotective properties. The cells of the neural cells in our brain, it nurture the neural cells. It nurture the bone cells. So it's amazing that how it is not only harming our cells, not doing anything to our normal cells, but helping our normal cells. But now on the other hand, that, like every therapy, we target to cure one specific disease. And now that, this plant, we talk about that and we say that in a cancer patients, 6 different ways this plant is helping that. Either it is helping to increase the appetite, because chemotherapy kills the appetite to the cancer patients. And then after that, we talk about that cancer patients are going through a very big pain. So that means this is pain reliever because it is anti-inflammatory properties. Then after that, we talk about that this plant actually helping cancer patients to get out from their depression and anxiety, because this is not a small disease, this is a big disease, and the patient is actually fighting for their life and death. So it's put a lot of pressure, they go through the anxiety and depression. And modern medicine already, like tell people that basically that from a long time, that if the patient is healthy, your cells are happy, you are going to respond very well to the therapy. That's always in any kind of therapy. So we know so many things that, like how many different ways it is helping the cancer patients. And one of the unique thing that which most of the people are not aware of, that basically that, it sensitize that your body towards the chemotherapy. That means if it can increase the sensitivity of chemotherapy in your body, that means let's say that, like I have a certain kind of cancer and I need like 6 rounds of chemotherapy without using cannabis from a long time. But if there's another individual have the same situation and he is a regular user of cannabis, then his body is so much sensitive that maybe he need 2 or 3 rounds of chemotherapy. And we all know that chemotherapy is going to destroy your body so much that if you will be able to reduce 3 rounds, that means it's a big win situation. Your life expectancy is going to increase 1 to 2 years. So it's amazing that how it is helping. And this is just an example of a cancer therapy. But the one of the important thing is that we need to know that, like what kind of different phytocannabinoids are already discovered. what is the endocannabinoid system and how it is helping and regulating our homeostasis, that means maintaining the balance in our body, and along with that, that how we can use it in a better way so that it can help in a many different disease subset. People always curious about that, that during this big pandemic of COVID-19, that this is the only business that which is actually growing like there is a no tomorrow. And why? Because COVID-19 hit everywhere in the world and it's created a lot of depression and anxiety because of the isolation, because of people are losing their jobs, etc., right? So then people are start using this plant to help their anxiety and depression. And that's how that they are getting through it, and it helps people all over the world. And on the other hand, that one of the most important thing that, like what research is telling, that there are so many different research already done, but there was an observational study from New York, from the first wave from United States. What they observe is that they actually pool a two different kind of, like population of the patients. 150 patients who were already cannabis user and 150 patients who are not cannabis user. And all the cannabis user patients, that cohort, actually, they have a very less side effects and their recovery time was very fast. And why? Because it has anti-inflammatory properties and there is a whole mechanism around that. And one of the most important thing we need to understand that science is so much advanced in this field that we have to take advantage of that. Because now people are talking about that, like there are some cases all around the world that there are some people that they wanted to get the help from this field and they are taking the medicines. They are either taking edibles, they are either taking, like tinctures, etc. But they are not getting benefited about that. And why is not? Because now we know that there's another specific term that we are aware of, is that endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. That means our body has some kind of anomaly in the sequence of the genes on the different receptor level, CB1, CB2, and there are many more receptors. We only talk about CB1 and CB2 because most of the work is already done on CB1, CB2. But there are more than 25 receptors are already explored in that field, and they play a very important role to regulate the homeostasis throughout the endocannabinoid system. And along with that, there are more than 150 phytocannabinoids which are explored in the system. So now clinicians know that if somebody is not responding, then they can send these patients and tell that, like, why not you can look the gene sequence, and why not we can look the level of the endocannabinoid system in your system, so that we know that you are not suffering from endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. So this field is growing so much that we have to know that and we have to acquire the knowledge. Either we are the educators or we are the patients, because more and more we know, better we can do in this field as a community. And other important thing is that basically that when we talk about the phytocannabinoids, right? So it's all about this flower, and the flower, there are 150 compounds are there. But now we know that, like we have a big tool, which is a gene editing tool. So basically we can edit the whole genome of the cannabis. And when we edit it, then we are looking for that, okay, there are so many different compounds are there, how we are going to utilize those compounds. Because so far we only know CBD and THC, and maybe some more other CBN, CBG, THCV, THCA, etc., right? But there are more are there, and how we are going to use those phytocannabinoids, right? So then we use this genetic manipulation technology using CRISPR-Cas technology. It is one of the most topmost actually molecular biology gene editing technology which get novel this year. And they use this technology to overexpress the specific genes so that the hybrid plant can make this specific phytocannabinoids, so that researchers can get more and more specific phytocannabinoids in their belt. And then once they get that, then what happened that, like we have more molecules in our hand, better pure compounds in our hand to explore the role of different small compounds in many different diseases, that how it is curing the disease. So it's such a big field that, like it's hard to, like combined and like summarized in a very short time. But it's a pleasure to be in this platform. It's a pleasure to share all these details with you guys, and looking forward to meeting with you all guys in later meetings for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hemant Singh, for your incredible knowledge. I mean, sharing all your a part of your knowledge with us. We all know that you have a huge knowledge on cannabis, especially on medicinal cannabis. And KannaAcademy is proud to be proud to know you and proud to be your friend. And you have got a few questions in the chat box, on medicinal cannabis, and we will take those questions later. And people are interested to know how they can treat different things. And so after let's let other speakers speak, and then at the end we'll open the floor, and that will be interactive, and we will let you speak. So now next, Vim sir, are you here? So we have now Dr. Berry, Dr. Berry Bialek, and Vim sir. So Vim sir, are you here?
Hello, yes.
Yeah, we love you very much. So everyone is demanding you on the chat box.
Okay.
So again, we all know that Dr. Berry is on Eastern time again. It's like 1 o'clock for him, midnight. So we will please say something to us, because everyone has demanded, oh, we want Vim sir. So, and
Okay, I can join in Nepal. It's time, it's a very good time, but for the Westerners, time zone is different. So let the first speak them from Canada, US, or UK, wherever.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. Thank you, Vim sir, so much. At least so all the people who are demanding Vim sir, so we can see him now. So everyone looks happy, right? We love him very much. Okay, Dr. Berry. So if you are here, so I'd like to introduce Dr. Berry to us, all of
I
us.
am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you, Dr. Berry. He has successfully established multidimensional cannabis research center in Kathmandu University, Nepal. And he and I have been working in the cannabis field for more than 1 year. I mean, it's like 2 years now. And he is a very wonderful person. He has traveled Nepal more than I do. More than many of us do. I mean, he has traveled different mountains, all the mountains of Nepal. I mean, not all, but mainly the eastern mountains of Nepal, and served people there. So I'll give this floor to Dr. Berry. Dr. Berry, please.
Thank you. So you have my presentation? Or should I?
So would you like to share it yourself? Because Anmol will make you the host.
Sure.
Or co-host.
Let me.
Anmol?
Okay.
Anmol slept?
Yes, now you can see it.
Okay.
Okay. So I share screen. So exciting. Animal, you must be happy that I can do this. Okay. So let me. It is okay. It is not. I guess I should have spoken a little bit earlier. I am trying to get this on.
So I'm trying to make it larger, the full screen.
I'm trying to get it to view. And it's
so
not because
if you go in the bottom,
at the bottom.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, now I have to get this over here. Okay, my apologies. I'm better at medicine than I am at technology. So you're seeing my screen, so I'll put this over here. So the Multidimensional Cannabis Research Center. This is a new center at Kathmandu University. The idea is to research cannabis in everything, but applied research so that we can apply it to a future legal, especially medical cannabis, but whatever Nepal decides to do, cannabis industry. I put June 11th because where I am, it is still June 11th. It's June 12th where you are. Okay, and okay, so I'm getting a few things here.
Don't worry, we'll admit those people at the top.
Good. Okay, so the brief talk today, just two things. To introduce myself, why I'm involved with Nepal, why I'm involved with cannabis, and then to introduce the Multidimensional Cannabis Research Center to you. So my name is Barry Bialik. Nepalma मेरो नाम वीर बहादुर यहुदी हो. म 31 सालमा Nepalma पुगेँ पहिला. So I arrived in Nepal in 1974 as a Peace Corps volunteer. I learned the language, I learned the educational system, the new education plan, and I taught math and science in Ilam district in a small high school called Namsling Madhyamik Vidyalaya. It's a long story. I don't have a lot of time tonight, but I had a cow. I spilt some milk and I helped the local villagers, my neighbors, build a trail. Got me inspired by the Nepali sense of community and community development. From that, a few years later, in Ekchalisal, 1985, I co-founded a Nepali NGO, the idea being help the people give their voice an action plan. And it's a much longer story. We've been working over the years in 23 different districts, won a couple of national awards for this process. That's why I keep on going back to Nepal. Pachas Choti Bandit Bordi Mampugiko. The other thing that happened in my Peace Corps time was Band-Aids and Tylenol and not much else that I had to treat people. And they thought because of my first aid kit that I was, of course, ready to treat anything. That inspired me to become a doctor. I went back to the US, became a doctor. Again, long story short. And in Colorado, where I've been living for the past 20 years, cannabis is legal. And it has been since the year 2000. So in 2010, I started practicing cannabis medicine. And through that and my connection with Nepal, I came to Kathmandu University. I had been working with them since the 1990s in community development. And I spoke with the vice chancellor. I said, what do you think of cannabis as medicine? And he said, sounds like a good idea. What are we going to do? And the idea is it's not legal, as we all know, but I'll tell you a secret. It really is legal. Now, Bhimji, you probably understand this, but the 1976 Narcotic Drug Control Act of Nepal, which made it illegal, also allowed for exceptions. And those exceptions are for religion, for research, for medicine, and somehow for everything from Rukum and West. There's a political history to that. And the only problem is regulations have never been written. So, Bhimji, I'd love to talk with you about this more, but for purposes of today, right now, even though it's legal, there are no regulations, no rules written, so it's really not a good idea to play around with it. And we at KU are not touching the plant yet. There are a lot of things we can do that are not touching the plant in terms of research, And we are doing those. We're researching literature and ancient manuscripts, things like that. But we are not touching the plant until we get permission, and we're working with the Ministry of Home Affairs on that. I won't go into that anymore now. So what is Kathmandu University? Well, it is the premier research university in Nepal. This is the School of Medicine. There are 7 schools, so another 6 schools as well. And we're working with all of them. This is multidimensional. So what do we mean by that? Number 1, vision and mission. We are a forum for Nepal's future. Now we can discuss at length, and at some point I'd love to, how this potentially great medicine for the world can actually help Nepal. And the way we see it, Nepal has great wealth in biodiversity and ecodiversity, and maybe, we aren't sure, it may be the original source of cannabis in the world. So these are all things that we want to show that Nepal has great cannabis as medicine. Then, as we understand it, the world is going towards pharmaceutical grade herbal medicines. And this is what we hear from our connections at the United Nations. And we would like Nepal to be not only growing and producing raw product, but manufacturing, refining and manufacturing these medicines. And as opposed to what Dr. Bede was talking about, we're not looking at genetic modifications, we're looking at understanding what Nepal has. And maybe genetic modifications in the future, but now there's so much to work on the medicine that currently exists. So what do we want to do? We want to help cannabis and the research that we do create a good domestic market, create a good global market, and benefit Nepal, her people, investors, and inventors. So what are we looking for? Let me move this over here. The first thing is understanding the past and present. So what are we doing? Literature searches, not just modern literature, but ancient literature. Another thing is, what do the people in Nepal know? So oral histories. We'll be talking to Ayurvedic physicians, to Amchi physicians. We'll be talking to traditional healers who are neither. We'll be talking to growers and cultivators who have probably for generations been putting different genetics, different chemical profiles together. Then we hope, after we understand this, to direct the future, to do clinical studies so that we really understand which chemovars have which effects on which subpopulations of people. We want to identify best cannabis agriculture techniques and technologies so we can produce consistent results, and Agriculture and Forestry University is working with us on that. We want to do product R&D, and we want this to be a major product, not the only product, but a major product for Nepali farmers. And we see this ultimately as the first of a number of medicinal herbal plants that reach the 21st and 22nd century, with Nepal helping to lead the way. So what are the dimensions? I'm not sure where all of these colors are coming. Can you guys see colors on this?
That is from somebody is drawing or playing with the screen, I think. But there are 170 or 80 people, so I really don't know who is doing that.
Umesh Bhatt is doing that.
Pardon?
And how do we get rid of that?
Am I doing? I hope I'm not doing that. Anyway.
You are not.
Sorry. So if we look at 6 dimensions, 5 of them are research, medical, industrial, that's hemp, so textiles, things like that, agricultural, social, this is huge, because if we look down at, we see policy and law, we see history and religion, we see economics, and we also see community development. This can be a driving engine for sustainable and equitable community development in Nepal's 750 local municipalities. Science research, of course, and then awareness and education. Without that, we're all blind. I'd like to point out under medical research, allopathy, that's Western medicine. We look at that, but the plant itself comes away from being strictly allopathic because we aren't quite sure what's in it. Hebrew University has estimated over 1,400 active ingredients in each plant. Ayurveda has been using cannabis as a medicine, not by itself, but with other herbal products for thousands of years, written 3,000 years ago, probably another 2,000 years before that, and originated in South Asia. Right now, there are 1 billion people who use Ayurvedic medicines, but very few of them use the cannabis-based Ayurvedic medicines because they're illegal. Tibetan medicine was formed about 1,500 years ago. Ayurveda was part of it, so the cannabis-based medicines are also part of it. Indigenous, as I mentioned, are different. And veterinary, the current numbers that I have heard are that 80% of Nepal are rural, meaning farmers, and 99% of those, so call it 80% of Nepal, have their own cannabis plant growing. And mostly, my understanding, is that it's for the animals. So this is not something that is new to Nepal, but that's a much longer conversation. So who are involved? So Kathmandu University is in charge of this. KU is certainly part of it, all the different schools, Agriculture and Forestry University. I will move this over. Gorkha Ayurveda Company is down here. They've been around for 35 years. And this makes it a public-private partnership. We want to, as I mentioned, our R&D is developed so that we can go into the marketplace. Hebrew University, those of you who know about THC and about the endocannabinoid system, know about it because of our colleagues at Hebrew University. THC was discovered there in 1964 by Professor Raphael Mechoulam, who's still there. He's 90 years old. And and also the endocannabinoid system was discovered by Lumir Hanouch, who's a professor there and still there. And they have agreed in principle to work with us, to give us that international stamp that we'll know we're good, but if they say we're good, the rest of the world will believe it. And then the government of Nepal is very interested. So we have a research lab at the Ministry of Forest and Environment that is looking at doing some cannabis testing and has been in discussions informally with us. The government of Nepal and BMG can probably speak to this much more deeply and more eloquently than I can, so I'll leave it to that. And Dhanyabad. Namaste.
Namaste, Dr. Berry. Thank you, Dr. Berry, for sharing, first, thank you for waking up this late. I mean, to speak in our virtual community, program. So we are a big community, like we're 200 people interacting here in Zoom and 200 other people watching live in Facebook. So like a 400 big family of cannabis in India and Nepal, I mean, across India and Nepal. That's a huge gathering for the cannabis. So thank you, Dr. Berry, for your insightful sharing. And now I would like to request Bhim sir, Engineer Bhim Upadhyay and ex-Secretary of Nepal, Bhim sir. We all love Bhim sir, and he is our cannabis hero in Nepal. And he has been advocating the legalization of cannabis in Nepal very loudly. And he is fighting for every cannabis, every cannabis lover in Nepal. be it consumer or entrepreneur or whoever, So Bhim sir, please.
Okay, thank you, Niranjan sir. Thank you very much. I am very much happy today to see a couple of new experts delivering our next session of Cannabis 101. It may be language problem for many people from India. They may not be familiar with Nepali, and Nepali people may not be so much familiar with English or like that. So I'll be speaking in English and Nepali both, so that at least I could reach to many people. Thank you. So, as you know, see, if you call cannabis or gaja, Nepal is the kingdom. See, has been the kingdom because Mahadev, Shiva, the abode is said to be in Kailas and which is in Himalaya. So it is a very, very holy plant for the Mahadev. See, for last 4 and 5 decades, we spend in dark ages as far as cannabis is concerned. And if you just calculate at that time when it was declared illegal, drugs, very, very dangerous, these narcotic drugs. See, at that time, if you just she take 15 years old boy or girl, which has become now 60 years, they are all put in dark ages. So you can imagine how badly we have been treating Gaza, this cannabis, for last 4 and 5 decades. Because of that, people are very much scared, shy of talking of Gaza. It's so much research have been done in Israel, in US, in Canada, in Australia, even in Thailand, but we are in dark ages. Thanks to this KannaAcademy, Nepali people also got opportunity to make themselves scientifically knowledgeable in the basic area of the cannabis, the agricultural business. For last, after the first session was completed it's a few weeks back, Nepali are very much enthusiastic to join these courses. I don't know how many will join, but there will be a problem of languages. That is for sure. Last session was English and Nepali. All you and Priyaji also understand Nepali to some extent because he is also related to Nepal. But this time there are other people who can only speak in English. That may be problem, but we have to bear with it because all the literature so far have been, written in English. So we have somehow we have to accommodate ourselves. So I now onward speak in Nepali because many Nepalis are expecting me to speak in Nepali. Okay, Niranjanji.
Bhim sir, please.
Okay. So तपाईँ आज चाहिँ नि डाक्टर ब्यारीजीलाई भेट हुँदाखेरि मलाई एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो कि उहाँ चाहिँ नेपालमा यत्रो वर्ष काम गरेर यो काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटीलाई बेस बनाएर त्यत्रो ठुलो रिसर्च थाल्नु भयो रहेछ। यो सुन्दाखेरि त म आज यति खुसी भएँ, मलाई थाहा थिएन है यस्तो कुरा केही भइरहेछ त्यहाँ भनेर सुनेको थिएँ, तर उहाँले नै गर्न थाल्नु भएको रहेछ। हिब्रू युनिभर्सिटी जस्तो गाजाको बारेमा त हामी भनौँ यो आँखा खोल्ने 20औं शताब्दीमा हामी सबैको आँखा खोलिदिने हिब्रू युनिभर्सिटी नै हो भने पनि हुन्छ। दुईटा प्रोफेसर हो, टिएससी र हाम्रो इन्डो क्यानाबिनाइड सिस्टम हुन्छ है यस्तो भनेर पत्ता लगाउने पनि हिब्रू युनिभर्सिटीको प्रोफेसरहरू हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँसित पनि हाम्रो काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटी डाक्टर ब्यारीहरू उहाँहरू सब मिलेर चाहिँ गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ। यो त नेपालको लागि ठुलो नेपाललाई फिल्ड बनाएर जुन काम भएको छ यो त ठुलो योगदान हुन्छ। यसको लागि म धेरै खुसी छु, धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु जसले यसलाई सुरु गर्नुभयो, काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटी, डाक्टर ब्यारी, सबैलाई। अब यता नेपालमा चाहिँ फेरि एकदम राम्रो डेभलपमेन्ट भएको छ। म कति समय हुन्छ मलाई रोकिदिनु होला, 1 मिनटमा सक्नुहोस् भनेर निरञ्जनजी फेरि बोल्दै जाँदै जाला। नेपालमा सबैभन्दा राम्रो कुरा गएको 1 हप्तामा नेपालभरि नै 77 जिल्ला, गाउँ, नगर, प्रदेश, राष्ट्रमा यसरी जाने यो मुभमेन्ट गयो कि यदि यसको चाहिँ नि पक्ष विपक्षमा चर्चा चल्न थाल्यो, यति फेसबुक ग्रुपहरू खुल्न थाले, पेजहरू खुल्न थाले, अब लिडरसिप लिन्छु भनेर अगाडि जान थाले कि यसले त यस्तो यो सबै युवाहरू 20 देखि 30, 35, 40 वर्षका युवाहरूको जुन किसिमको क्रेज देख्यो नि, यसले चाहिँ मलाई म एकदम अत्यधिक खुसी भएको छु कि अब यो हामीले अलिअलि सुरुमा स्टार्ट गर्दाखेरि जसले जति अब आलोचना गरे पनि अपशब्द बोले पनि त्यसलाई सहनुपर्छ, एक दिन आउँछ त्यो दिन हुन्छ भन्ने सोचिन्थ्यो। त्यो मलाई चाहिँ अब आइसक्यो भन्ने लाग्यो कि युवाहरू यसरी तात्नु भएको छ कि अब उहाँको मुभमेन्टलाई चाहिँ नि रोक्ने हैसियत अब नेपालको राजनीति, खास गरी राजनीतिक कारणले यस्तो भएको र राजनीति गर्ने मान्छेले अग्रसरता नलिएकै हो। हुन त इन्टरनेसनल एरिनामा अब युएनमा गएर नेपालले भोट हाल्यो, यो चाहिँ मेडिसिन हो, नार्कोटिक ड्रग्स होइन, यसलाई कन्ट्रोल गरेर युज गर्नुपर्छ अरू मेडिसिन जस्तो भन्ने भएको छ। अनि त्यसले गर्दाखेरि होइन, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हामीलाई के भइदियो भने नेपालमा सरकारले चाहिँ एकतिर चाहिँ गरिरहेको छ, अर्कोतिर नेपालमा आफै सुधा छ क्या। फेरि पुरा कस्तो भने र नेताहरू यसरी भोकल भएर बोलिरहेको छैन, ब्युरोक्राट्स बोकिरहेको छ, सेक्युरिटी पर्सन्सहरू अब एक्सपर्ट्सहरू पनि 2, 4, 5, 6 जना बाहेक बोलिरहेको छैन। अझै पनि के छ भने उहाँहरूलाई थाहा छ यो राम्रो एरिया हो, यो राम्रो चिज हो, यसको धेरै फाइदा छ, फाइदा लिनु सक्छ। तर अरूले मलाई के भन्छ, मलाई के भन्ला, गजेडी भन्देला होइन, अथवा के भन्देला, परिवारले अर्कोले भन्देला, किनभने त 4.5 दशकमा त यसरी ब्रेन वास गरियो। त्यसपछि अर्को एउटा पक्ष छ जो इलिगल काम गरेर कमाउने, अरबौं रुपियाँ वार्षिकको वार्षिक अरबौं रुपियाँ कमाउने छ, तिनीहरूले पनि ब्रेन वास गरिरहेको छ। तिनीहरूले पनि तपाईँले यसलाई चाहिँ रोक्न प्रयत्न गरिरहेको हुन्छ, गरिरहेको देखिन्छ अहिले पनि। किन सरकारका मान्छेहरू चुप लाग्छन्? जस्तो अघि ब्यारिजीले एकदम ठिक, यो नेपालमा कहिले पनि इलिगल थिएन कि, लिगलै थियो। यो भएको के भने सरकारले अघि बढेन, कानुन बनायो, ऐन बनायो, तर रेगुलेसन बनाइदिएका भए सबैले एकदम लिगलाइज किसिमले काम गर्न पाउँथ्यो। रेगुलेसन आजसम्म बनेन के, बनाउने सुरु पनि छैन। र अझ तपाईँ कुरा गर्नुभयो भने उता युएनमा सही गरेर आउने, आफैले यसलाई लिगलाइज गर्छु, यो चाहिँ नार्कोटिक्स होइन, यहाँ चाहिँ पुलिस झन्भन्दा झन् बढीलाई फाँनी गर्दै हिँड्नु। हुन त अब त्यो इलिगलै हो कानुन, तर त्यो स्थितिमा हामी एकदमै यो कस्तो भने विरोधाभासमा सरकार हिँडिरहेको देख्यो। यता चाहिँ नि हामी लिगल गर्छौँ, यो चाहिँ नार्कोटिक्स होइन, यो चाहिँ युजफुल मेडिसिनल प्लान्ट हो, यता चाहिँ फाँडे गरेर पाक्न लागेको बालीहरू यताउताहरू फाँडे गर्दै एकदम किसिमको यो चाहिँ राम्रो भएन, काम गराएर बोलाइमा फरक भयो नेपालीहरूको, नेपाल सरकारको भन्ने भएको हुनाले यसको अब सल्युसन हामी यहाँ के दैदैछौँ भने यसको सल्युसन सबैलाई ज्ञान छ, जानकारी छ। विरोध भएको भए एकदम नआइज आयो है, नआइज आए चाहिँ म्युट गरेर मलाई अनम्युट गरिदिनु होला सबैलाई, एकदम मलाई अनम्युट गरिदिन्छ। ओके, अनि यसले गर्दा के भने अब यसलाई चाहिँ अलिकति राजनीतिक रूपमा धक्का दिने खालले दबाब सिर्जना गर्न सकेन भने फेरि यो राजनीति गर्ने मान्छे भनेको दबाबमा हिँड्ने हो, जनताको आवाजमा हिँड्ने हो। यिनीहरूलाई जनताको आवाज दिन सकेन भने अर्काको आवाज सुन्छ। यसका गलत तत्त्वहरूले फाइदा लुटिरहेकोको आवाज सुनेर केही नहुने, ढिला हुने, ढिला भए कामै गऱ्यो भने पनि संस्थाहरू नबनाइने, नियम नबनाइदिने, त्यो त्यसको एक्सपर्ट बडीहरू नबनाइदिने, अब त्यसको चाहिँ नि विभिन्न लाइसेन्सिङ गर्दा बवाल गरिदिने, उता दुःख दिने काम चाहिँ हुने सम्भावना त त्यति नै हुन्छ। किनभने त्यसका इलिगल त लाभ लिएका तत्त्वहरू धेरै यहाँ छन्। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हामी सबैले यसलाई यसको बारेमा बहस भनेको अब के भने अब गाँजालाई वैध कसरी गर्ने हो, यसको मल्टिपल युज कसरी गर्ने हो भन्नेमा हाम्रो अभियान जानुपर्छ। यही किसिमले हामी सबै साथीहरू जुन नेपालमा हुनुहुन्छ तपाईँहरूको अहिले हाम्रो पहिलो उद्देश्य के भने कसैले गाँजा घरमा अथवा अलिकति उम्रेको घरमा जेल जान नपरोस्, कसैलाई यसलाई चाहिँ क्रिमिनलाइज नगरोस्, तर जे काम गर्दा पनि कानुन र नियम अनुसार लाइसेन्स लिएर मात्रै गर्ने हो भन्ने कुरा बुझ्नु पर्यो। र दोस्रो कुरा के भने बजारमा बेचेर खुला भएर किनेर खान पाइने स्थितिमा अहिले नेपाल होइन। यसको औषधि, औद्योगिक र अरू रिसर्च प्रयोजनको लागि जति पनि हुने भयो लाइसेन्स लिएर, तर बजारमा किनेर बेच्न पाउने, किन्न पाउने, खान पाउने चाहिँ अहिले पहिलो फेजमा हुँदैन। फेरि पछि अमेरिका, क्यानाडा र चाहिँ अस्ट्रेलिया जस्तो केही ठाउँमा हुन सक्ला बिस्तारै, तर अहिले तत्काल होइन। त्यस कारण धेरै युवाहरूले यसलाई त्यो खाने मामलामा, धुवामा उडाउने मामलामा धेरै नै प्रचार चर्चा गर्न चाहिँ हुँदैन भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ। अब हामीले अहिले पनि रेगुलेसन बनाइदिने भने अहिले पनि लिगल छ के, त्यही ऐन अनुसार भारतमा पनि ठ्याक्कै त्यस्तै ऐन हो, नेपालको पनि त्यस्तै ऐन हो। तर हामीले केही पनि काम अगाडि बढाएनौँ, कसैले अगाडि बढेर सक्रिय पनि भएनौँ र वैकल्पिक तरिकाले विभिन्न अन्डरग्राउन्ड एकदम भूमिगत इकोनोमीहरू चल्न थालिसकेपछि मेहनत गरेर रिसर्च गरेर एकदमै सिधै यो त्यत्रो वर्षौँ के अरे लागेर किन गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ नि नजानेतर्फ देखिन्छ अहिले यहाँका इन्डस्ट्रियलिस्टहरू व्यापारीहरू र यो ब्युरोक्राट्सहरू सेक्युरिटीकाहरू पोलिटिसियन्सहरूले अगाडि यत्रो विश्वमा यत्रो भइसक्यो यत्रो चर्चा भइसक्यो यसरी चाहिँ गरिसके भन्दा थाहा पाउँदा पनि नेपाल जस्तो ओरिजिनल भूमिमा चाहिँ काम गर्न नखोज्नुको पछाडि चाहिँ जनताको दबाब नपुगेको अब जनताको जवाब एकदम चर्कोसित पुग्छ र एकदम अभियानहरू चलिरहेको तपाईँ सबै साथीहरू आफ्नो ठाउँमा अभियानमा आबद्ध हुनुहोस् अब यो ठिक हो कि बेठिकको प्रश्नै छैन कसरी लिगलाइज गरेर हामी अगाडि बढेर यसबाट इन्कम पनि गर्ने फाइदा पनि लिने विभिन्न असाध्य रोगहरूमा चाहिँ कहिले पनि निको नहुने मान्छे पनि मर्ने खर्च गर्दा गर्दा सम्पत्ति पनि नासेर बाँचेकाहरूलाई भिखमङ्गा बनाउने किसिमको जुन किसिमका रोगहरू छन् नि त्यो रोगबाट पनि यसले मुक्ति दिलाउने धेरै नै देखिरहेको छु मैले नै 4-5 जना क्यान्सर जो डक्टरले अब बाँच्दैन 1 महिना भनेको 6 महिना बाँचिरहेको काठमाडौँमै के अरे नेपालमै यहाँ ट्रिटमेन्ट भइरहेको छ देखिरहेको छु मसित सम्पर्कमा हुन्छ त्यसलाई यसमा विवाद चाहिँ गर्ने नै होइन जसले विवाद गरिरहेछ उनीहरू विवाद गर्न बस गर्न चाहन्छन् उहाँले गर्ने तर साइन्टिफिक आधारमा कुरा गरौँ हामीसँग हाम्रा यत्रा विज्ञहरूसित हामी सम्पर्कमा बसेको के हो भने केही कुरा पनि अनसाइन्टिफिक आफ्नो बायस अथवा भ्रम अथवा कसैले के भनिदिएको अरेको भरमा अब गाँजाको पछि विपक्षमा धेरै बस चाहिँ नगरिदिउँ र हामी सबैले रेस्पोन्सिबल जसले गाँजाको बारेमा एडभोकेसी गरेर तीहरू एकदमै रेस्पोन्सिबल हुनु जरुरी छ र उहाँहरू सबैजना आफ्नो ठाउँमा गएर अरूले पनि यो गाँजा भनेर जुन नकारात्मक लिन्छ मान्छे हेरेपछि यो त होइन यो त असल मान्छेहरूले यो अभियान चलाएका छन् भन्ने पारेर यसलाई चाँडोभन्दा चाँडो गरिब पिछडिएका दुर्गमका क्षेत्रका मान्छेहरूलाई तुरुन्त 1 वर्षभित्रमा एउटा उद्धारै हुने गरी अगाडि बढ्नुपर्ने स्थितिमा हामी नेपाल जानुपर्छ त्यसको लागि पहिला एउटा कानुन पास होस् कानुन पास भएपछि संस्था गठन होस् संस्थाहरू विज्ञहरूको संस्था होस् त्यसपछि प्रदेशमा पनि युनिट होस् र लेबोरेटरी रिसर्च गर्नलाई काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटी जस्तै भइहाल्यो KannaAcademyले कन्सल्टेन्सी पनि गरिदिन सक्ने भयो परेको बेलामा अरू अर्को चाहिँ भारतमा पनि प्रियाजीले हुनुहुन्छ उहाँको पनि टिम चल्छ अब आउने क्लास चाहिँ नि भारत नेपाल दुवैको स्टुडेन्ट हुने हुनाले अब हिन्दी पनि अलिअलि नेपालीले पनि प्रयत्न गर्नु पर्यो अब नेपालीमा त भन्दिन पनि पर्छ अलिअलि बोलिहाल्नुहुन्छ तपाईँ टिचरहरू धेरै नेपाली हुनुहुन्छ र अङ्ग्रेजी चाहिने अब अङ्ग्रेजी लिटरेचर त अङ्ग्रेजी पढ्नुपर्ने बाध्यता छ अहिले धेरै वर्ष लाग्ला नेपालीमा लिटरेचर बनाउन तर अङ्ग्रेजी पनि अलिकति सिम्पल अङ्ग्रेजी अलि सुस्तरी बोलेर गरिदिनु होला चाहिँ अनुरोध गरिदिनु होला सबैलाई अङ्ग्रेजी बोल्दा ताकि सुस्तरी अलि सिम्पल इङ्ग्लिस धेरै नै टेक्निकल भयो अलि फास्ट एकदम नेटिभ स्पिकरहरूले बोले जस्तो गरी होइन हामीहरू विदेशीहरूले बोलिदिनु भयो भने फेरि त्यो क्याचै गर्न पनि अलिक गाह्रो हुनाले उहाँ ब्यारिजी त नेपालबाट आएको उहाँले नेपाली नै बोलिदिइहाल्नुहुन्छ तर भारतीय स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई फेरि नेपाली जस्तो हिन्दी हामीलाई बुझ्न जति सजिलो छ नेपाली बुझ्न भारतीयहरूलाई गाह्रो छ क्या त्यो चाहिँ नेपाली उनीहरूलाई गाह्रै लाग्दो रहेछ हिन्दी हामीलाई सजिलो लाग्छ बच्चेबाट त्यो सुनेको हुनाले हिन्दीमा हामी बुझ्छौँ पनि र धेरै कम होला सबै नबुझे पनि अङ्ग्रेजी पनि त्यस्तै हो बुझ्ने मामलामा सामान्य नेपालीहरूले अङ्ग्रेजी पनि त्यति नै बुझ्ला तर नेपाली त सबैले बुझ्छ त्यो मिलाएर चाहिँ क्लास गरेर अगाडि चाहिँ होस् र तपाईँ सबैलाई म एकदमै आभारी छु एकदम खुसी छु दोस्रो क्लास सुरु हुन थालेको छ र मैले चाहिँ 1-1.5 वर्षदेखि यसमा अभियान चलाउँदाखेरि मलाई खासै साथहरू केही 2-4 जना 10 जना तपाईँहरू समय हुनुहुन्थ्यो अहिले चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ 10,000 20,000को साथ भएको हुनाले यो अब चाँडै नेपालमा लिगलाइज पनि हुन्छ यसले अगाडि काम गर्छ राम्रो किसिमको प्रोडक्सन सेन्टर चाहिँ नेपाल हुन्छ म त्यो कुराको बारेमा तपाईँहरूसित फेरि पछि चाहिँ छलफलमा गर्दै गरौँला अहिलेलाई म यति भने हस् धन्यवाद
Thank you, Vim sir. He is always wonderful. Now, so moving forward with the program, so I'd like to. Okay, so now I'd like to invite Anmol Savkota, our information and technology head, and we have got some questions from our prospective students, like a timing of Cannabis-101 course. So as we said, so we'll give 1 month timeline for students to register, so that more and more students could may register for the class. I think today is June 11, and then the class will, start from June, yeah, from July 11. Today is June 11, I'm sorry. So, and so during that 1 month, we are hoping that all the, I mean, the news will spread to all the prospective students or all the enthusiastic students who want to take the class. So, so that's why we are keeping 1 month, and then we will open our registration from next week, and we will keep you updated, please. So Priya ma'am will keep you updated in India. Please follow her, and then if you have any question, you are free to bug her. Just hey Priya, hey ma'am, so what's going on?
Always available, for any kind of questions for all the students. There might be some time zone difference, but I'm always here. And also, I'm so grateful for all of you to, to have put this together in such a short span of time, because time is the essence. Everyone would understand when the global, market today is only about cannabis, especially in the pandemic, situation. We need to teach the same to our Asia, the entire continent. There is Thailand right now, who's really ahead of the entire continent. Then there is India with even unlimited THC license available. But what is the use if majority of the people don't even know that cannabis is medicinal? And hence that education is very, very important. So I'm looking forward to, to hopefully get a lot of enrollments. This was an introductory session. I'm looking forward, for a lot of enrollments from all of you students who are looking forward to get a certification. Today, you got a lot of information specific to the subject, but it was generic actually to each subject. Now we will be going in depth. हम इसके depth में जाएंगे, चाहे वो testing के बारे में sir ने बताया हो, चाहे वो breeds के बारे में, strains के बारे में बताया हो, चाहे processes के बारे में, cultivation, extraction के बारे में बताया हो. तो यदि आपको इसके आगे हमारा सेशन ज्वाइन करना है तो प्लीज एनरोल करें. लिंक बहुत जल्दी हम अपलोड करेंगे और ये हिंदी, इंग्लिश और नेपाली ये तीनों लैंग्वेजेस में होगा. सो किसी को भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. KannaAcademy ने जो लास्ट सेशन किया था वो रीजनल लैंग्वेज में किया था, नेपालीज में किया था, ताकि जो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो अपने कंफर्टेबल मदर लैंग्वेज में ये चीज को एम्बेड कर पाए. हम भी कुछ ऐसा इंडिया के लिए करेंगे. So thank you all for actually sticking around for the entire session. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya ma'am. And now I would like to invite Anmal Satkota to speak and instruct us, all of us, on information and technology, how to use the KannaAcademy and where to write the question and how to contact the admin and all those things. And we have social media, he will tell us. Anmol, please.
Yes, thank you. Namaste everyone. I'm Anmol Sapota and I'm basically a web developer, and currently I'm assisting the KannaAcademy team and also the MCRC at Kathmandu University in technical aspects. First of all, I would like to welcome you all and also thank you for the interest in the courses this academy is providing. The registration will start very soon, and you can register from for the Cannabis-101 course from our website itself. We will notify you about the when the registration starts from our Facebook page. So I request everyone to stay connected to our Facebook page. And if you have any queries or any issues registering, you can email us at info@kannaacademy.com, or you can also message on Facebook or on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, Anmol. So okay, so the fee is 3,000. So this time, so it's 3,000 Bhutan dollar in Bhutan, 3,000 Indian 3,000 rupees, let's say. So just to diffuse the confusion, just to make everything not confused. So yes, 3,000 and your currency. All right.
In India, how much in Bhutan?
In Bhutan, 3,000 Bhutanian dollar. Bhutanian
Bhutanian
currency.
rupee. Okay, there.
Rupee.
India?
India, 3,000 rupees.
Okay.
Nepal, 3,000 rupees, and Bangladesh, 3,000 taka. So we were very confused, and we had to, had several meetings, within ourselves to decide what to do and all those things. And we didn't want people to get confused. And of course, we understand that there is some currency difference, but we are trying to keep the numbers same. But this is the final so far. If it changes in few days, we will let you know. In dollar, please. In dollar, well, yeah, $20. Okay, so in dollar, let's say $35. Yeah, we'll let you know. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. But we'll let you know. Please check our website, and then we will notify you in our website. And what else? So this. Okay. Okay. All right. So this now officially concludes our today's program, and we will stay and interact to each other after this, maybe for an hour or 2 hours, however long we want. So thank you, everyone. KannaAcademy would like to see you all. I understand, and we understand that will be many students now, more than 100 for sure, from India and Nepal, and there are several questions on the chat box. Let us conclude this Facebook Live, and then we will interact to each other, whoever stays and have questions. And Hemant sir has got some questions on medicinal cannabis as well, And so Anmol, please go ahead and end live on Facebook, and then we'll